Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Dude, he got fucked up by the ladder, bro.
Oh, I hit him so hard that he got launched for a wall.
Ladder 1, enemy 0. He's having a bad day.
he's even worse for me. Is like his neck is stretched out.
Sorry, bro. That's like a Battlefield character there. Oh, look at this guy's hand, bro. High five. Although the friends invite system that Ubisoft employs, instead of just giving out fucking beta codes like any other normal goddamn publisher, is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and completely failed me during the closed beta weekend, I was able to participate with friends in the open beta, I mean demo, considering the game comes out in like a week and a half. The Division 2 is basically a Washington, D.C. expansion of the first game with a new engine that allows for those gnarly looking ragdolls you saw earlier. If you enjoyed the first game, which I did, then it's more of the same from the sequel, but with some slight improvements to make the quality of the gameplay better than the first, which is kind of what you'd expect from a sequel, although in this case it really feels more like an extension than something that necessitated an entire additional game. Thank you for the fucking history lesson here.
I know, right?
It's like The Division, it's educational and informal. You fight in museums and the exhibits are still going off, and honestly, this exhibit's more interesting than the combat right now. Just saying. Yes, it's yet another Ubisoft open world game, but it seems in this one there's more variations and things to do with missions that aren't things like clear out an area of baddies or lock down an area and face waves of horde mode AI for a duration of time, or follow the waypoints on your screen because fuck actually having to figure out puzzles in a game. Where do we... There's lots of doors marked exit game. Why do we have to go to this specific one? But even in the short beta, I did experience things like hostage rescue missions where you can't let hostages get gunned down by the AI, and in the Dark Zone, going rogue by hacking or breaking into areas with even higher tiered loot. Oh, what is that?
Oh.
That does not look good.
Jesus.
I was like, oh look, a new toy.
Some same movement.
Oh, another one! The location choice of Washington, D.C. compared to New York City represents a chance for more varied landscapes. Even though I'm much more familiar with NYC because I lived there for a few years, the grid-like layout and repetitive tall skyscraper buildings that littered the snow-covered streets made for a somewhat uninteresting backdrop as you ran through the city, as more wide-open areas like Bryant Park or Washington Square were fewer and further between, with dipping down into the subway tunnels every once in a while. In D.C., I did recognize some of the areas because I visited a few times, including doing a really great job of capturing what it feels like to be in the White House itself. There's a lot more diversity in the types of locations that you're fighting in because there are more wide open spaces like the mall and the nature biome, and less repetitive street and building landscapes. The biggest areas of improvement in this iteration are from combat. Enemies aren't the ShamWow-esque bullet sponges that they were in the first game, which makes firefights more about positioning and combat accuracy than about the rock, paper, scissors battles that make you go from cover to cover all nimbly bimbly and juggle your Q and E skill abilities with their cooldowns for maximum effectiveness, although there still are some AI that go crazy aggro. This guy's got a fucking shotgun. Oh. Oh. Yeah, he had a fucking shotgun and he just ran up on me. This means that you aren't a bullet sponge either, and there's a new armor mechanic that acts similar to shields in Destiny that do get regenerated when out of a fight, but if there's still a wave of enemies coming at you, you're going to need to manually repair said armor, which then means that you're going to die more quickly if you don't. There are other smaller iterative improvements like having perks for the Dark Zone combat, having PvP game modes like Deathmatch and Domination, and having multiple Dark Zone locations, one of which per week is not normalized, so people that have grinded out the game for a long time can flex their muscles, while other players like me that don't have all the time in the world to play games can go into a different Dark Zone without being rinsed like a dirty pint glass, and this is a really great compromise. Every game that comes out nowadays demands more and more of your time and resources, and since those things aren't infinite, there's only so much I could spend on certain games. This is one of the reasons why I stopped playing the original Division, is because once you're done with the main story missions, the only way to get better gear was in the Dark Zone, and every time you went in, players with ridiculously high gear would destroy you, so it was a constant cycle of never being able to progress. Of all the random character custom... Whoa, you guys are like falling in perpetuity. And you just... Of course, it wouldn't be a beta, I mean demo, without some issues, as there was a server crash, but only one that happened. But it was at the most inopportune time, since my squad was rogue, and when I loaded back into the Dark Zone, I was met with an unfortunate execution. I want to go more rogue.
Oh, I got kicked.
Oh,
There we go. There we go.
Right, let's reconnect.
We went too rogue for the game. I think I'm in the same spot. No,
Okay, I
I'm
think
not
I
in the
just
same
got-
spot. Oh no! What the fuck? What the fuck?
Die?
I just spawned into a laser field, bro. What the fuck was that? Dude, no! Of all the looter shooter games out there, I'm partial to The Division because it's grounded in modern military realism over the sci-fi vibes that you get from either Destiny or Anthem or Borderlands. Plus, the game mechanics with the concept of a Dark Zone having both PvE and PvP elements with areas of tension, along with third-person cover shooting, are just much more interesting to me. You just shoot a bird.
I did.
That's a big fuck off bird, too. I think you just killed a bald eagle, you bastard. Although it probably seems more like an expansion pack with a new location than an entire new offering, there's enough positive improvements over the first game for me to warrant picking up the game when it's on sale, as you can get 10% off on Green Man Gaming using my affiliate link down in the description, hashtag sellout mode engage, right now if you'd like to pick it up. The location of DC over NYC has improved the variety, even though both are your generic, ruined, washed out setting. The story, again, unfortunately seems like it's going to take a backseat unless you pay hard enough attention.
I'll end you just like I ended your friend.
Okay, calm down there.
I'll end you just like I ended your friend.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
Okay.
comes up with these voice lines?
Unlike you.
What the fuck kind of, what the hell script was that? Who the fuck approved that? Too long, didn't read. If you like the first game, you'll enjoy the second one. For me, it's a game that I could sink some time into when I feel like just chilling and gaming versus putting on my sweatbands for some of the other FPS games that I play. Did you play the demo and what did you think? I've been DashWants27 out like nipples at a wet t-shirt contest. Until next time.
No, this
We
ring is
gotta
heavy.
return back to the checkpoint. Yeah, I could barely see anything.
I like that.
This is more like a Dark Zone. It's foggy, it's misty, it's wet, it's rainy, it's gross.
It's The Division.
Yep, so that's my review. The Division. It's gross. It's very moist, this game.